Cardi B just dropped a bombshell that has fans completely stunned. For more than a year, everyone thought her split from Offset was a done deal, but according to Cardi herself, that's not the case at all. She's still legally married, and the reason why has nothing to do with love. Instead, she claims Offset is tying up the divorce over money, taxes, and property. In her own words, she feels like she's being held hostage in the marriage, forced to stay on paper until she pays up millions. It's a shocking twist in one of hip-hop's most talked about relationships, and it might be just the beginning of an even bigger drama. On September 22, Cardi B went live on X Spaces and didn't hold back. In front of thousands of fans, she explained why, despite filing for divorce more than a year ago, she's still legally tied to Offset. And it had nothing to do with lingering feelings. Cardi claimed the real reason comes down to money, specifically Offset's taxes. According to her, the only way she can finalize the divorce is if she pays off his tax debt and even gives up one of her properties in the process. Her exact words, "The only reason why I'm still married is because somebody wants me to pay for their taxes." That raw admission lit social media on fire because suddenly this wasn't just a breakup. It sounded like a financial standoff that's been dragging on behind the scenes. But the live stream didn't stop there. Cardi doubled down, saying she refuses to be held hostage in a marriage over money, making it crystal clear that this fight isn't about love anymore. It's about power, control, and millions of dollars. After dropping the initial bombshell, Cardi pushed even harder on the point that had fans' jaws on the floor. She said flat out that she feels like she's being held hostage in her marriage, not by love, not by loyalty, but by paperwork and money. In her words, Offset won't let the divorce go through unless she hands over millions and one of her properties. For Cardi, that crossed a line. She made it clear she's willing to fight, even if it means dragging out the battle in court. What hit fans the hardest wasn't just the accusation, but the way Cardi delivered it. She spoke with the same fire she's famous for in her music, making the whole situation sound less like a quiet split and more like a high-stakes standoff. To her, this isn't just about ending a marriage. It's about proving she won't be controlled or forced into paying her way to freedom. And as she put it, this is not no love shit. Cardi and Offset's marriage was never simple. It's been a roller coaster from the very beginning. They tied the knot in 2017 after a whirlwind romance, and almost immediately the cracks started to show. Cheating rumors, public arguments, and multiple breakups became part of their story, but somehow they always found their way back to each other. Fans remembered the on-stage apology Offset made during one of Cardi's concerts, when he literally showed up with flowers to beg for forgiveness. Despite the turbulence, the two built a family together. 3 kids who became the glue that held them close even during the toughest moments. But every high came with an equally dramatic low. Cardi filed for divorce once before in 2020, then called it off, only to refile in 2024. Each time, the public conversation exploded, with fans split between rooting for their love story and urging Cardi to finally walk away. It was messy, emotional, and always played out under the spotlight. Now, with Cardi saying she's legally separated but not free on paper, it feels like just another dramatic chapter in a relationship that's been anything but ordinary. Just when fans thought the drama had reached its peak, Offset made his own power move in the courts. Back in May, he filed an amended divorce response that flipped the narrative. Not only did he push for joint custody of their 3 children, but he also asked for spousal support, without specifying a number. For many, that raised eyebrows. Offset, a successful rapper in his own right, demanding financial support from Cardi B? It instantly became a talking point online. To Cardi, this wasn't just legal paperwork. It felt like a trap. During her live stream, she suggested Offset was essentially holding her hostage in the marriage until she agreed to give up millions and even one of her properties. In her words, This wasn't about love anymore. It was about leverage. Fans watching the saga unfold couldn't help but question whether Offset was fighting for family ties, financial gain, or simply control. It's this messy legal back and forth that's keeping Cardi stuck in a marriage she insists is over. And while their lawyers battle it out, the world can't stop dissecting every new twist. As if the divorce drama wasn't already explosive, Cardi dropped another bombshell. She's expecting her fourth child, this time with NFL star Stefon Diggs. The announcement came while she was still legally married to Offset, instantly fueling headlines and fan debates. Critics were quick to point out the timing, questioning why she would reveal a pregnancy with another man before finalizing her divorce. But Cardi didn't flinch. In her live stream, she fired back at the chatter, saying people were trying to make it seem like she had 100 gazillion baby daddies. She reminded everyone that her 3 children came from her marriage to Offset, and that this was her first child with Diggs. So what? That happens, it's life, she snapped, brushing off the noise. For Cardi, the pregnancy isn't a scandal, it's a new beginning. But in the public eye, it added fuel to a firestorm already blazing with rumors, financial disputes, and years of relationship drama. And for her critics, it was yet another reason to dissect her every move. While the world buzzed about her love life, Cardi B was busy turning the chaos into momentum for her career. Just days before her livestream confession, she dropped her latest album, Am I the Drama?, a title that almost felt like a wink at her own headlines. The release gave fans plenty to talk about, with lyrics many believe take subtle shots at Offset, their failed marriage, and the constant scrutiny she faces. By timing her pregnancy reveal and candid livestream alongside the album push, Cardi kept herself at the center of the conversation. Whether intentional or not, she blurred the line between personal struggles and professional strategy. For her critics, it was proof that she thrives on controversy. For her supporters, it was classic Cardi, unfiltered, unapologetic, and always finding a way to turn drama into dominance. And in true Cardi fashion, she leaned into the noise rather than hiding from it, sparking even more speculation about just how much of her life she's willing to put on display. Through all the noise, Cardi made one thing crystal clear. She's not here to apologize. In her livestream, she doubled down on her decisions, reminding everyone that she did things the correct way the first time. She fell in love, she got married, she built a family, and she stayed committed for 7 years. In her words, that's more than most people could say. So when critics tried to shame her for moving on while still legally married, Cardi brushed it off. She pointed to the reality of her situation. She's legally separated, emotionally done, and not about to let paperwork dictate her happiness. Yes, I'm having a baby with somebody else. So what? That happens. It's life. She fired back, refusing to let the judgment slow her down. For Cardi, this chapter isn't about regret, it's about reclaiming her narrative. She's choosing to live on her own terms, even if that means facing a storm of backlash in the process. And love her or hate her, that defiance is exactly what keeps her in the spotlight. So where does this saga go from here? Cardi insists she's fighting to free herself from what she calls a financial trap, but legal battles rarely move quickly. Offset's demands for spousal support and custody could drag things out even longer, leaving her in a limbo she clearly resents. At the same time, her pregnancy with Stefon Diggs signals a new chapter already unfolding, one that could reshape her personal life and her public image in ways no one can fully predict. The big question now is whether Cardi will give in to Offset's terms just to move on, or if this divorce will turn into one of the messiest celebrity splits in recent memory. With new music fueling the narrative, a baby on the way, and fans watching her every move, the drama is far from over. If anything, it feels like the next twist is right around the corner. Because with Cardi B, the story never really ends. It just evolves into the next headline.